our recording that people can follow up with if they're not able to be here, or just come back to it. So 3 modules today, even though they were all kind of short, they're all very similar. So let's just go through and talk a little bit about the 365 system. And how did you feel about how it puts all of these pieces together? The contact, the care, and the community. Can you see yourselves being able to do this on a regular basis? Getting up to this level. I know 7 pop-bys a week is a lot. I'm looking at how we're going to be able to do that. And my coach definitely, when I told him I thought it was a lot, he said, I'm not going to let you get by with that. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to figure out how to do it. But I was looking at different appointments and things that I have coming up, and I found 2 or 3 opportunities just today that I might be able to, where I'm going to take a little pop-by or something. So I think it's a lot of thinking about how to incorporate each of these things into our business.
So Heidi, I have a question. So when you do these pop-bys, do they need to be there? Do you need to call and say, hey, I'm coming by, or can you just leave something on their doorstep?
Well, I think you have to be able to leave it, because if a pop-by, when we make arrangements to go, it turns into an appointment and becomes more of a plop-by. And so what we will do, I've been sending personal notes to tell them I'm going to drop something by in the next week or so, and just hope this finds them well, and this, that, and the other. And so then I would take it over, and we haven't even been knocking so much during COVID. We have been running into more people lately, and that's kind of fun. But I'll take a picture of the pop-by on their patio and text it to them and say, just drop this off for you. And I just get a text back. I like it when we can talk to people, but the idea is, so before COVID, what we would do is we sent a text, we're going to be in your neighborhood in the next 15 or 20 minutes. We have a little goodie for you. If you're not home, we'll leave it there on your patio. And so we'd take a picture of us waving and leave it there for them and text it to them. And then they would respond to that. And twice it's happened where we accidentally went to the wrong house. And it's funny. And then we text them a picture, we get a text back, that's not our house. I'm like, oh, well, we remember the client, we see a lot of houses. And so we took one to their house. It was like avenue instead of circle. It was one of those situations. And our client said, well, they must think you're the best realtor ever. Right. Well, that'd be nice. I'm glad you do, because you get my goodies. But we do. We get a lot of just little thank yous and things from people for the pop-bys that we get. So if you watch the videos, if you follow up, one of the ladies was talking about all the notes and things that she gets from people because of the personal notes and the pop-bys that she does. So if that hopefully answers your question, because I don't think you need, hi Olivia, I don't think you need any advance notice, but I found that it's an extra reason to write a personal note.
Right.
Because getting through 50 personal notes a month, man, that's hard.
Sorry, I'm late.
Hi there, no, you're fine, good to see you. We're just talking about the 365 and all of these different pieces. So the mailing on the 1st of the month, now that is something that we get a really good response when we do, send out something that we think is really valuable. They like it. We've had people, they don't respond to each one, but we have people say, hey, thanks for sending us this valuable material. Some of this stuff is really good to read. And so they do. We also will include a little goodie every now and then, a little sticky note or something customized in the monthly mail out. We've done some co-branding, which is now available, which I love. And I've seen Kathy Bird do it several times, where you can take one of your affiliate business owners and co-brand your mail out with their information. You can just upload that into the document, and it's included. So you just go in and personalize your piece before, and it has the mail out date or the personalized date. It must be personalized by such and such a date. And I think it's like a month in advance about. So And I'm looking more into that because we're going to try that at our business mixer that we're doing tonight. We're going to talk with a roofer about doing a co-brand next month with us. Because it is some additional things you could add, and it would give you a really good conversation with some of these contacts, which says to reach out and maybe have lunch with the business owner every week. They say, hey, I'd really like to talk to you about doing some co-branding. How about we meet for lunch? Give it a really great, teaser, because they're going to want to hear what you have to say, how you can share business. So that's something I think that is something easy to do. What I think most people and at every level have is the phone calls, right? The phone calls are the hardest thing. And so behind the mailing, so you send your mailing out and then your phone calls, or send your email out, and then it gives you a reason to follow up on the phone. And we actually do quite a few calls with our clients, and it's recording them in the CRM that is so important. So you might find that you are having conversations, and two-way conversations, maybe you're even having a two-way text, and you can record that contact in your CRM and make sure that it tracks it. And as long as you let them know that you're never too busy for their referrals, then you can count it as one of your contacts that day. So that I noticed that you have to, if they call you and you say, hey, I'm never too busy for your referrals, it counts as a contact that day. So even if they call you. So if you don't say anything, because I didn't, and I was tracking my stuff and I'm like, I didn't say anything, so I didn't check the box, I didn't get the contact. So I know that that's the way it works, because I was just doing that last night. So the care is the personal notes, the 7 pop buys a week, which is a lot. I think we just have to find opportunities to take people little special things and be memorable. And the video. So this is new with the last trainings that we've had. This is a new thing that Buffini has added to Referral Maker. And I see that they have an agreement with BombBomb to do, it's a great price. I used to have BombBomb and I paid a lot more than $30 a month for it. What I like about it is it would allow you to send a video to your entire database at once. I don't know how to do that if you're using your phone to do your videos. I send a lot of videos to personal people. I'll just record it and text it on over to them. But you'd have to put together a group text or something, or put a link in your email to a video, which I don't think would be nearly as effective. What do you guys think? Do you open links to videos very often? No, I don't.
I usually do, briefly, but I have a short attention span. So if I see that it's like a 20-minute video, I'm probably only going to watch the first few minutes of it, honestly. Unless it grabs my attention or something, Yeah.
Doesn't he say it's like 2-minute max?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just too hard to keep attention.
Especially
and if I saw a 20-minute video from somebody, I would probably say, "Oh, I'll do that later," and never get to it.
Yeah,
I think I have good intentions, but yeah.
If there's a good tagline or a teaser that makes me want to open the video, that's even better, though.
Yeah, sure. Like stay to the end and find out if you won $1,000.
Oh, I don't fall for that kind of stuff, but yeah, I hear you.
Either. Yeah. Not anymore.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Well, so that's something that I have to learn about, and I'm going to find out if there is a way to do it other than just going with BombBomb, and we'll see about that. If I paid $30 a month and I was able to do the video and it helped me to get one more deal, I can imagine that would be a good thing. So, like he was talking about, what to give up. And I was thinking, we've got a couple of kind of toy type of things that we have that we might be able to look at cutting some expense to make room for that. I think it's important when you're looking at that. And that was a little bit in the most difficult person, the managing your money part. But cutting expenses is something that we really do have to do, especially when we're new and we're trying to ramp up our business. We try to do things with less cost. So how about when you're setting up a client breakfast or lunch, or taking a business owner to breakfast? Those are investments in our business. And he's saying, invest in your business, invest in your clients. So when you're cutting things out, don't cut them. right? So I don't know. It's hard. I don't go to Starbucks every week. So I'm going to have to give some thought because they always say, you know, cut your Starbucks out. I don't go there. So, but I know plenty of people who do. Here's one thing I thought was super interesting. 47% of people never follow up. Could you believe that? Like, oh my gosh.
I thought those statistics were pretty impressive, so I tracked them down.
Yeah, it was. It was some interesting information. So 2% are made at the first contact. How many of us get rejected the first time and we don't call back? So many times, right? Or even the second time is only 3%. The third time is only 5%. And the fourth 10%, but by the fifth contact with
Boom.
somebody, 80% chance of converting them. So we give up too soon. And when I teach the for sale by owner class, I always do that because people will always need at least 5 contacts to convert a for sale by owner, but they always give up after 2 or 3. Now, when he's talking here, he's not talking rejection. He's just talking about having a stable and consistent contact with your database. And so 100 people in your database is critical mass, right? And 100 A pluses or A's. I can't imagine 100 A pluses, but 100 A's is level 2. I am so not there yet. I think we have about 25 A's in our database. So that is something to really work on.
That's actually interesting to hear because you've been doing this a heck of a lot longer than some of us on here anyways. I don't know everyone's story, but you've got 25 A pluses out of all those years. That's like we got a full like a challenge in front of us, I think, right? All of us.
Can I tell you a story? Because I'll tell you what happened. So when I was a Keller Williams owner, I was a franchise owner of Keller Williams for 6 years, and also a team leader. So I was not, as a team leader at Keller Williams, you're non-competitive. So I was not able to work the real estate business for that full 6 years. So between 2006 and 2012, I did not work the real estate business. So all of the business I put together coming into the business in 1987, up until that 2006, I passed on to my family who did not do a very good job of keeping them in the fold. We didn't have good systems yet. We've developed those. So then I'll tell you, then I came over to Remax and I started to work on my business again. And it's taken me a while to build up. So Michael and I, we got together when I was at Keller Williams and we got married after we moved over to Remax. But right after we got together, he was at a funeral and somebody stole his phone and his computer out of his car at the funeral. I mean, like, talk about rude, right? So, and his database was not online. And so he lost his complete database. I didn't have any database. And so I can honestly tell you that what we are doing, we've put back together since about 2013, everything. And so even though we've been in the business for that long time, it's rare that somebody calls us, although it does happen. I just closed one that was 20 years ago that I sold them the house, but it's rare if you haven't been in touch and staying in touch that they get back with you. So we've been able to piece together most of his database, but that's why after we started doing this, we got it together. So now we're really happy to be up to about 200 again. But a lot of those, I'd say about 75 of them now are my mom and dad's old clients, and I need to requalify all those. So make sure that you even know who I am. I hate it when we go to a pop by and there's somebody else's sign in the yard. Awful. It happens. And it just does happen. So, but that's the value of qualifying. It really does matter. And so that's just a really short story. We had to completely rebuild our database. So starting over from years. So that is only about 8 years. And 8 years in the business is enough time to build a significant database. But during that 8 years, I really wasn't focused on real estate until really COVID happened, and I wasn't able to be in the office, and I started to focus more and more on real estate and the systems and the feeney and the teaching and all of that. And our income, we made as much in the first 5 months of 2021 as we did all of 2020, just by working these systems. And so that's why I believe in it, and I'll continue doing it. And I can tell you that I need to improve a lot. And it's constantly improving. So what I thought was interesting, after, you know how he said, do a personal note to everybody you call. So I say in his action steps, when you call 5 people in your database, send 5 personal notes, not the 3 that he says there. If you pop by 5 people, send a personal note to them too. I always, when I'm doing a pop by, I try to notice something like, wow, they painted their front door, their yard looks great, or something that I can write in a personal note. Or if I got to talk to them, I get to say it was so great to talk with you. So the pop by gives you the opportunity for those additional personal notes too. And so if you're calling people, you get all of the people for a personal note. You get all of the people that you popped by for a personal note.
Are you always putting,
I'm
sorry, are you always putting your business card into your personal notes as well? Are you adding that in there every time?
Sometimes I don't. If I'm saying something like, it was great to see you, and I'm so sorry to hear about the passing of your dog, and so I don't then.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't. But if it's just a regular, I'm going to be popping by, yeah, I do. And I do it like Kathy does. I put it on the inside of the card with the sticker in the card. I think it looks really nice that way. And then when they get it, they don't automatically know it's an advertisement too. They open the personal note. I like that. But also, every time you add somebody to your database, that's another opportunity for a personal note. So where he said write 3 personal notes, the rest of his activities here actually allow for 15. You see that? So if you do all of those, you can get 15 in. So, and then meet one of your favorite people for breakfast or lunch this week. That's not real hard. Not at all. So that's more fun. I'm actually going to go meet my my lender, which is not hard at all because it's my son, but today. But hey, I'm still excited about that. But I'm also meeting with title person, and we're going together to get lunch and a pedicure with my title lady. So those, I mean, that's not really work, but it is. So that's the part that's really fun. Using one's time effectively or productively, that's what I call that. Getting a pedicure with another business person, perfect. Or having lunch or a beer or going fishing like David did earlier this week. He went fishing with one of his people. Awesome. Yeah. And was able to qualify them, right, David? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so I went fishing with a buddy who's with his wife trying to figure out if they want to buy something and move or sell their place or finish the basement and wait a little while to gain the equity in it. So I got to kind of figure out where their heads were at. And then speaking with him, I definitely earned his referral business. He's a finance person. So he's into the world of finance and sales, and he really liked how honest I was being with things and open I was. So it was a good exchange, and luckily, we had a good time fishing. So, it would have been nice to have caught a fish, but at least we both had a good time being out and about doing that and getting to catch up. So
sounds like maybe you caught a pretty big fish.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see if it produces things. So
nice. Good job. Yeah. Did anybody else have a meeting with client this week?
I'm having dinner tonight with, well, he's not a client, but I met someone over Facebook, and him and his wife and Eric and I are they're new to the area, and he's always kind of responded to some of the real estate stuff I post. So yeah, hopefully, I don't think they're going to be a client anytime soon, but maybe referrals or new friends.
Awesome. Yeah. That sounds wonderful. And there's something that Buffini talks about. I'll get your guys' opinion on this too. So Buffini says that you take a new client to either coffee or lunch, and you take a past client that's already bought through you. That's when you pay for dinner or something like that. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it probably comes down to what's most available for them at times, but I kind of like that strategy. You have a more sincere investment because you've earned their business in the past for an expense like a dinner or, an after dinner party kind of thing. Or
I've paid for dinners for people that weren't clients before and regretted it. So
yeah, I think that's a good, usually if I'm meeting a client, someone I want to be my client, it's a beer or a coffee or, a quick lunch. I mean, tonight, I'm assuming we're all just gonna pay, Eric and I will pay. We're not taking them to dinner. We just are getting together for dinner.
Well, that's cool. And next week on the thing, if they look at you and say, "Oh, here's the bill," let us know. I've had that happen before,
Hopefully
where
not.
people go and like they order like you're like, "Oh my gosh!" So it doesn't happen often, and it hasn't happened in years and years. I was just curious about that because I've always been the one to pay, and I think Buffini's right. I think if you're just building relationship, it's fine to go Dutch. I totally do. Just like dating, right? It's like the dating process with the clients. Yeah. That's awesome. I hope that goes well. We have a dinner this Saturday with clients that we haven't seen in years and years. Years and years, feels like it's been since February of 2020. And lots of stuff has happened. She found out during this year that she has cancer, and so we're really catching up on a lot of things. Looking forward to seeing them. And what about anybody else? Has anybody else had any or have any coming up?
Yeah, I'm meeting 3 of my favorite people tonight for drinks. We're so excited. Everyone's been
Awesome.
fully vaccinated. We're like, yeah. So, yeah. And then, but the thing, Heidi, that I am super struggling with right now is I have some active buyers. And in this market, it's literally triple the showings, triple the offers because you're not winning your first or second offer. So, and I'm kind of jumping ahead, but the time management, I have not been good with my calls. Yesterday was fully consumed with showing properties, writing an offer. So yeah, so I haven't been honestly keeping up with the calls as much as I should.
Well, I do recognize that, Joanne. And I was kind of thinking as we were going through this, sometimes our time blocking is we can't stick to it because exactly that. We can't tell a client that we can't go show a house, or, it's nice when you have somebody, if you can't move an appointment, that can help you out. But I think that erase and replace is most important during this time. So if you erase your lead generation, you've got to replace it. That's the main thing. Yeah. But I agree with you. Working for a buyer right now, typically in a normal market, a seller's 8 hours and a buyer's 40. I would say probably a buyer is like maybe triple. 10 times that much now.
I know, it's true. And the thing is the minute something comes on the market, whatever you have to be ready to go and show it,
You do.
So it's kind of been time management's always been my challenge. It's really there right now.
Well, Joanne, do you have anybody that can help you? Like if you have an appointment and somebody needs to see, do you have anybody you can call that will go show even for, $50, $100 or something like that?
I mean, I could reach out to someone to do it if I needed to. I think what I need to just, I jump between my home office, my work office. I feel like I'm jumping around a lot and I really need to just drill in. And I mean, I can pay someone to go do a showing, but I'd rather be the one doing it.
Yeah.
And, unless I have double, and then I can pay someone to do it. But yeah.
But the thing is, though, if you're scheduled, you never want your person to wait. Okay, so we always do our own showings if we're available, but if we're not, we have an awesome team and team members that will go do that. And we have with our team, a reciprocal agreement. So we'll do the same thing for them. So maybe you can find somebody that would like run and show if needed, that's a lot like you or has your values, that could just let somebody in, because your buyers will be super happy if you tell them, even when I'm busy, if something comes up, I've got this covered.
Right.
So, and it'll be okay. Yeah, you want somebody that does business a lot like you, or if you have a difficult client, it's worked, or a challenging client for you, getting somebody that works better maybe with that style can be really helpful too. Kind of playing bad cop, good cop. When we want somebody to really know the way the market is and hear it to them straight, we call in Erin Larkin on our team. She tells them straight. Like, well, I don't even know why they're showing you yet. When you don't have your house on the market, you can't buy anything unless you She tells them, and they like
Head bump.
hear it, you know, and so you find somebody that works really well with you that can help cover for you. And that helps us a lot. And there's people that are on that list that are probably in your offices that would just run and do it. I know Chad doesn't let us go outside the company. There's a lot of services there, but it brings in so much liability to bring in the extra, you know, those extra people. You don't know what they're going to say. Our E&O doesn't cover them. So that's why he doesn't do that. The broker's E&O covers the assistants we use in the company. And so your productive environment, let me ask you guys this. Do you have a place where you go to make your calls that feels good, where you don't get interrupted as much like as you would if you were just sitting in your office? Or where is your place? Where do you like to go to focus, your focus environment?
Right where I am now, my home office.
Your home office? Okay.
Yeah,
good.
I like my home office too. I have my whole setup and I rearranged it a few months ago, and the space, I mean, thankfully, you know, I don't have kids home right now that I'm dealing with, just the dog, so I can shut the door and actually get stuff done.
Well, that is nice, because the home office can be distracting. But even if you have kids and no dogs, laundry and things like that, for some people that can't focus, can be distracting.
There are days, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't, but if I get my stuff done as I should in the days I have times I have allocated for housework, then I'm good.
Well, I totally hear you there. And I did buy one of those little timers. I'll tell you about that in a minute. How about the rest of you? John, where's your focus environment?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Last year I had just the home office, and distraction city I did not get. I got a lot of phone calls in, which was great. And I did rebuild a lot of relationships that, you know, were dwindling, or, you know, just people I haven't spoken with. But now I'm very thankful for an office where I can just focus and just make phone calls and not have the easy distractions of home. So,
you know, and I'll just mention, I think that this is something that COVID has really had an impact on, because statistically, NAR has done studies for years with people that have an office in the office versus a home office. And up until 2020, when people learned how to be more productive at home, 36% additional income, higher income if you had an office in an office. And that's just not the way we're hearing it now. I'll bet that changes. I'll bet it does. How about you, Ray? Where's your focus environment? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I missed the first part of that conversation because one of my clients was calling me.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
not the-
okay. Just where you go to focus.
Oh, I think the actual, just, I mean, out for real estate or just in
Yeah,
general?
you're gonna make your calls. You're
Oh.
gonna your focus environment.
Well,
Where
I
is
have
it?
I have an office here in the house, but I'm not focused unless I'm in the actual Remax office. I think I had this epiphany the other day. I get so much more work done when I'm in my actual office. There's no distractions here.
You have 2 teenagers.
I have 2 teenagers. I have my mom who constantly wants my attention as well, as much as my teenagers almost. My dog that wants a walk. Yeah, I get way more work done in the actual Remax office. I
Well,
could sit there for 5 hours and outdo what I've done the entire week at my house.
and knowing it is the most
Yeah.
important thing. Yeah. How
Yeah.
about you, Joanne? Where do you go?
So my office, my Remax office is a great office, but there's not walls, right?
Oh, yeah.
So any conversation I have, pretty much, and same with everyone in the office, we can all hear it.
Mhm.
So when I make my calls, my best place is at home. Right now, I don't have a closed off office, which we're going to work on. So I go up to one of our empty bedrooms. My kids have all moved out, and I just shut the door and I make my calls, you know, and boy, yeah. So that's the way it is right now. Or if I do go into the office, I'll just go into the conference room if no one's in there. And that's probably my most productive, because I'll block it out for an hour. I get my calls done. So
Yeah, I've found that when I'm in a position, because in the office, I can either open the door and listen to other people, or And that can be really interesting too. And especially before, when there were a lot of people in, I loved listening to like some of the people down the hall, like Jody Wilson, who is one of the most productive people in the office. I haven't seen her in a long time, but she's still one of the most productive people. I would hear her doing her phone calls, and it would give me so much comfort because she sounded just as fumbly and normal as I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I guess we can quit worrying about whether
Yeah.
I sound perfect all the time, because
Yeah.
what you find out when you listen to other people is nobody does. But they do the ask, and that's the thing. It's not whether you sound perfect or not, it's whether you're you. And
Yeah.
that, I think, is the biggest deal. Yeah. Being authentic. Yeah. So being, managing ourselves. Let's talk a little bit about this here. So energy drainers, that I thought was really big. So if you haven't had the chance to listen to the module 10, this is a good one. So managing the world's most difficult person. And I was taking quite a few notes, and I do this often, but it's still true. Fear and worry. You can't spend time on fear and worry that you could be spending writing a personal note or actually doing something about it. So that is the truth. And I love that save your drama for your mama. I actually have a better one, and I make cards, and this is one of my things. It's save your drama for your llama. But seriously, drama is an energy drainer, and I can get caught in the drama just like that. I did actually, even last night, because I wanted to go see my grandbaby this weekend. I haven't seen him in 2 weekends. And my son says, well, we're busy. We're going to a wedding this weekend. And all of a sudden, I felt a little drama coming up. It's like, oh, no, my grandbaby's not going to know me. And it's like, all of this, like blowing this stuff out of proportion. I'm like, yeah, just tone it down. Save the drama for your llama. And so it is something we have to constantly kind of look at. But the energy givers. So what did you think about this? Physical exercise. You feel better if you get out and do stuff?
Yes.
What do you guys
Absolutely.
do? What's your routine? What do you do for health?
I like to go walk my farm neighborhood. I do the ridge and just kind of do like a 1.5 mile loop.
Hey, that's cool. Then you can see all what's going on. Kill 2 birds with one
Mhm.
stone. That's awesome. How
I walk the
about-
dog.
Yeah?
Walk the dog every day and have to do some sort of workout, or I am not a good person.
That's awesome. And so, but the dog walking, I mean, getting out and getting that vitamin D, that's so good for your health too. Just getting
Yep.
outside. Yeah. And
I've
so
also
I know,
started-
Olivia, you're a runner too. And I've heard that can be a real good with endorphins and things like that.
Yeah, I mix it up. I'll run with her maybe a day or 2 a week and then do other stuff. I get outside every single day, even if it's sitting in I try and walk. I generally will walk every single day, do my workout, and then sit in my hammock in the backyard for 20 minutes in the sun, reading in the afternoon, take a little break. And I find that I have that to look forward to, and then it helps me refocus, and getting in the sun just feels so good.
So that is a really good example of what we're talking about here, getting out, doing the physical exercise, and then you're also doing some mental intake and getting your focus and get your energy back. That's awesome. So that's exactly what he's saying. So what about the others? Do you guys have any routines that you do?
I like to pay $22 a month for Vasa Fitness and never go.
But
when
your checkbook's getting a workout.
So sadly, the best exercise that I get is walking my dogs. That's not sad. But when I'm going to Costco or Home Depot and I can't find what I'm looking for, and then I go to a different Costco and Home Depot, I put in like 10,000 steps just walking the stores. So
hey, if you're counting steps, they count though.
yeah, right.
right.
I need to work on it. I feel better, just like Olivia was saying. I feel really good, even if it makes no physical difference in like my appearance. I feel better when I work out, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. How about you?
Ray,
Yeah.
I've gotten out of my early morning workout,
Uh-huh.
which I want to get back into. So we should next week we should both aim for like 2 or 3 early workouts.
I feel like I can commit to 2 or 3. That's what I keep telling myself.
Right?
If I can't find 2 or 3 days in my week to go work out, there's something, I'm making excuses. There's something wrong.
Well,
So
I
next
love you
week-
talking about the C word, on our conversation here, the accountability and making associations with people to help you. That's perfect. That's awesome. How about you, Sean, Joanne, either of you have a routine?
Yeah, I mean, I work out every day. If I don't get up and get my walk in, and then I do like a 10-minute HIIT thing, just to, like yesterday, I didn't have time and I went to bed going, God, I didn't do my workout. So yeah, every day.
Big deal. How about you, Sean?
So I do have a morning routine that I've been trying to hone in. Right now I'm very happy with it. I've got a 20 minutes of reading so I can slowly wake up, because I was trying to rush right into everything. Then I do 20 minutes meditate, and then 20 minutes of like rowing or riding a bike. And then the other thing I like to do every day, if possible, is find a new trail. So I've been learning about little urban trails throughout the city, which have been fun. And just doing different things like Westminster in that office. There's some good little trails out there too. So try to get a hike in as much as possible.
That's awesome. That's something I'm passionate about. So with me, I get up, I do my Bible study in the morning. I have YouVersion. It's a Bible app that I do, and I love it because it's not just like opening the book and reading it. It's actually focused on different topics and points out different parts that help me with that. So I love that. And it's very positive and starts my day with gratefulness and things that I think really do help, because I could get up and start thinking about negativities, and then that puts your mindset there. But when you start with being grateful and things like that. So I do try to think about what I'm grateful for every morning. And then my exercise, so I really would love to do something every day and get back into taking a walk. My dog can't walk. So that's a problem. I have to carry him. If I take him around the lake, he can get halfway and then I have to carry him. But we try every week to go at least 5 miles with at least 800 elevation gain hiking on the trails. But I go more to the mountains, but I do have some great resources, Sean, with some maps and things of Jefferson County trails, all of them. So that Remax Alliance sponsored those maps a few years ago, and I have one I'll bring to you. Pretty cool.
Thank you.
But I think you got to do what really does make you feel better. And Olivia's example was great about how she feels more focused when you do that. And you got to make time for those things every day. And so a lot of the trainers say you should do it first thing in the morning. It's super hard to do your exercises at night or to do a workout after hours and stuff. I found that most people aren't able to do that, but you just have to do what works for you. And having somebody to help you be accountable, just a peer partner, an accountability partner, really helps. My husband and I kind of do that, with each other, but we enjoy the time on the trail. So I think that it would be a lot harder if I had to get out there and do it myself alone. And so having that accountability partner might be super helpful, because I would be the first one to find something else to do, I'm pretty sure, if I was alone. Like, oh, I need to do that squirrel. But there I go. So money, let's talk a little bit about managing the money. Making cuts is really hard, but there's always something that we can kind of slim up on. What I really caught out of here, I thought was really important. You get trophies for your gross income, right? But you get savings and reach your goals through your net income. And so that's what we really have to look at, because you could make 800,000 a year and spend all of it in this business before you made a profit, right? So do you guys have a program that you use to track your expenses or your budgeting? Like, I know Mint is a budgeter, but Quicken is a great program for just tracking all of your expenses. You have anything like that you use?
So I have everything set up on QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it is an eye opener. I kind of felt like in this business when I first started that you can, I say, subscription yourself to death, because there's so many things that you need to subscribe to for this, to get that, to have access. So I added it up at the end of 2020. And so that's something I'm working on, is trying to figure out how I can streamline that. And I do referral maker. I really do like the CRM. So I'm going to switch over and lose my top producer. So that's one of the cuts I'm going to make. But yeah.
That I never regretted it, Joanne, when I left top producer, and I had it since 1993. And I went over to Buffini, and I've never regretted that. What I found is that having the system where the paycheck, when he was talking about the 70, 10, 10, 10 really helps, because we also, as real estate agents, tend to spend our money. And so the coaching program has helped. You know, with my coaching program, when I'm giving the information, I'm providing bank account balances, budgets, what I'm spending money on, everything. So I'm just like biting my nails. I just know this next coaching appointment is going to be, I feel like it's going to be a whipping. Let's see, I'll let you know how it goes. But that's really enlightening. So I did my whole P&L year to date, and just looked at and trying to do the budgets. Every single expense, whether it's first.io or paying for a text program, like somewhere we pay for that it allows us to get text when we are off the grid. So we're never out of touch. I mean, have we used it in 2 years? No. So I don't know. So we always have to look at those things and see where we can cut, because we can waste a ton of money. And it is the net, not the gross, that really matters. We get the trophy all day long, but do we get the trophy from our CPA, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. But investing, so what you don't cut, investing in your business, investing in yourself, and investing in your clients. And so there's a lot of investment in the clients with the lunches, the pop buys, the notes, and things like that. But what about yourself? You come into this business, you're new, so you feel like you've just pretty much spent a ton of money. If you're newer, or even if you're still building and learning to track, it costs a ton of money to get into this business, right? People think they'll go to school for $1,100 and then they've got a career, and that's not it at all. This business can be very, very expensive. So we have to really track how we are investing. But classes are super important. So the fact that you're here doing this is going to make a huge difference in your business. And statistically, NAR shows the highest producing agents, the top producers, do approximately one class or one meeting or one webinar or one something where they learn to sharpen the saw every single week. So even though he hasn't added that really to our weekly thing, it is part of it right now. We're in class. So after the 100 days, I'm pretty sure he's going to say, hey, here's what's next. But one thing I can tell you, the activities don't change. That when you get into these habits, only the results start changing, and they get better and better and better. And so keep that up. So one of the things I noticed, for the real estate ready tasks, are all of you familiar with RPR that he talked about? Cool. That is a great resource. So if you're not, you go to narrpr.com and do your profile setup. You need your national real estate database number, because it's only available to realtors. And then do like a detailed report. Look at some of the things that you can do. Try one on your own house. And then if you have questions, I'd love to talk with you about it, because it's one of the things that I do teach. I think it's one of the best tools we have as realtors, and we do not pay anything additionally for CMA programs, because RPR is all we need. So that is my little tip for the day. RPR can help you with your out-of-town clients too. You can pull RPR reports on properties that are not in Colorado and give people real estate information. I was able to do a CMA on a townhouse in Mesquite, Nevada for a referral there, and I was able to do the CMA, and boy, was that agent impressed. And then they bought the property, and I did get the referral fee on that, but I was able to do it. And I was actually, it wasn't in 2020, I was sitting at having a beer at a brewery in Buena Vista, and I did that CMA really quick on RPR. So it's a great tool to get to know, and we get it for free with our realtor membership.
One thing I did last week, Heidi, I think we talked about this. I'm sure everyone here, if you own a house, you've gotten your, what is it? Your revised market
valuation thing.
Valuation. There was a whole thread in a Facebook group, the Broomfield Neighbors Facebook group I'm in, of people upset that their, the values have gone up and their taxes are going up. And they asked, how can we, fight this or whatever? And I explained like, well, you can, but here's how you'd have to do it. I'm happy to run a report for you and look at comps, full well knowing that they're not going to support contesting the increase. But I got their information, and it took me like 10 minutes to pull the report and look at comps in their neighborhood and give them, type out a quick email for each. And now I have like 5 more email addresses for local people.
That is a great story, Olivia, because it is a great time. And we had somebody yesterday that is the daughter of one of mom and dad's clients that we've been establishing relationship with. We're going to list the parents' house. She reached out because she got that valuation and wanted help. And so that is awesome.
That story, you telling me that a couple weeks ago, is what made me, I saw that thread on Facebook, and I didn't want to be like, I'm a realtor, call me, but I just kind of offered to help out.
Good job. And coming from contribution, that's when people, they know you, they start to trust you. Even if they don't know you yet, if they feel like you're authentic and trustworthy, and they start to like you, and then pretty soon they feel they know you and they're doing business with you. But that's what the Feeney system is all about. And you can see how it works. It's just managing to get all of these pieces in with the email, the value item, the calls, the client lunches, the pop buys, the videos, all of it together is why we don't have to make cold calls, because people think of us when they think of real estate. And so next week, we're going to do module 11, how to be a goal getter. And so let's see here. That's all. We just have the one module for next week. Do you guys feel pretty good about the goals you have set? No?
I still need to fine tune mine.
I can honestly say that I thought I had a pretty good idea of all of the goals that I had until I started working on this stuff for the coach, and I realized how many blanks that I still had. And so that was really good to revisit this. So I think the most important thing about goals, and this is one that resonates with me, that I'll leave us with this. They can't be somebody else's goals. They can't be something that you're not committed to. They have to come from within you, and they have to mean something to you. And yes, he's going to talk about setting SMART goals, which that is just defines it. It's specific, it's measurable, it's action oriented, it's realistic, it's time bound. So when you set a SMART goal, it's not saying, I want to have more clients. It's not measurable and all of those things. But I can say I want to have 300 new clients by the end of the year. That could be a goal. It's time bound, but it's probably not very realistic. And just saying it isn't going to make it happen. So it has to be all of those things as something you really want, because I've set a lot of goals before based on something that somebody else wants, and I never get there. So it has to be your goal, and in always thinking of your activities as either taking you closer to your goals or further away. We are never, no matter what we're doing, we're never standing still. And so I hope that you have a fantastic week. I can't believe we're going to be like at Memorial Day here. Next weekend is what, the Memorial Day weekend? Is it? Not this upcoming, but the following. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But the weather's really pretty and I hope you get a chance to get out there and plant some flowers.
Thanks.
Have a great week.
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you, Heidi.
Next week.
Thank you.
Bye, have a
Bye.
good weekend.
Exciting.
Bye.